Greetings, this is Yolanda Greene-Sanders. This is my Session 5 Journal Reflection. And we are to talk about a touchy subject. So my touchy subject is Adam and Eve and how I've wrestled with the passage in 1 Timothy chapter 2 that talks about Eve as a transgressor, as a sinner, and therefore that women need to remain silent and learn in the quietness and submission as women are supposed to. I've wrestled with these passages all my Christian walk, and I just feel like it's time for a conversation. And so I presented 10 different versions that I found of the Bible, and how in 1 Timothy, how Eve is defined because of her eating the fruit. Talks about Adam being created first and then the woman. And then it goes on to describe Eve as being fooled and deceived, or a transgressor, Eugene Peterson in The Message defined Eve as our pioneer of sin. But there's nothing about Adam. And so then I go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 6, where Eve is being tempted by the serpent, accepts the fruit from the serpent. And then every version that I looked at also says that Adam was with her. She didn't have to hunt him down. She didn't have to find him and offer him the fruit and perpetuate the temptation. He was right there with her. And yet in 1 Timothy, Adam isn't defined as a transgressor. He's not talked about as a sinner. So I posed the question on my post, how would you define Adam? And then I presented 3 different perspectives, one from a feminist approach, one from a conservative traditional approach, and then my perspective at the end. And then at the end, I asked if we could have a conversation about it. The questions are, what are you aware of that you weren't aware of before? I was aware of this passage. I wasn't aware of my emotion behind it. And as I read it again, I thought, it's time to have a conversation. Partly because I feel like over the years I have been viewed as Eve has been viewed in Scripture, and as a temptress or a seductor or a weak woman who needs authority of a man to even have a say. The other question is, have I discovered to hone my voice? Absolutely. I discovered that years ago, and I'm in the process of honing, and I don't know that I will ever perfect my voice, but for sure, I think it's time for a conversation. What have I learned about the value of choosing words wisely? I've learned vast amounts and how important it is to choose our words wisely, but also to choose words that invite conversation, that invite understanding, as opposed to judgment, as opposed to debate, as opposed to politics. I've learned a lot. I appreciate the articles that we were assigned to read. I really appreciated NPR's article and the New York Times article that talks about the importance of choosing our words wisely, and the 5 questions that we were to ask. Such good questions about discontentment, about is it kind as opposed to cruel. I really liked the story that she gives of the little boy, or her son, his son? No, it's John. Yeah, sitting on his lap, and how that's their own special time. That doesn't need to be tweeted. That doesn't need to be posted. So that's it. Thank you.